What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sport topic, and today we're going to talk some football. Houston Texans football. I know it's been a minute. Your boy been a little busy for the past couple of weeks, but don't worry. Your boy's back right now. And we want to talk about some things because I know a lot of people probably already weighed in about the whole Jamal Adams thing. So I'm going to add in my little 2 cents, my opinion about the possible addition of adding in Jamal Adams to Houston Texans. We're going to talk about exactly what does this mean and really what could this do. Because, you know, all-pro safety Jamal Adams has been requesting a trade from the Jets, and why would you blame him? He probably just feels that he can't win up there in New York. Even though New York is this big, huge market, he probably sit up there and is looking like he knows he can win, even though that Tom Brady is no longer with the Patriots, even though they just added Cam Newton this past weekend. The potential of maybe, you know, hey, this might not be a situation for me to win in. Maybe he doesn't trust Sam Darnold that much, and he would know better because he's on the opposite side playing against him, practicing against him when they do their practices and stuff like that. So he sees from a defensive standpoint of actually what Sam Darnold could do. So maybe he's like, I don't want to play on this team anymore. So we all know he's from the state of Texas. I think he's from the Dallas area, somewhere up in that region. So probably he wants to be a Cowboy. But he did offer and threw the Texans name on this list. And again, why wouldn't he? Because he has a quarterback right here. He knows that 9 times out of 10, when he steps on the field, that he has the best quarterback outside of when they play against the Chiefs. And it's debatable if you want to go back and forth with him and Russell Wilson, you're splitting hairs. If you want to go with him and Lamar Jackson, you're splitting hairs. But 9 times out of 10, you know that you have the best quarterback on the field when you're playing with the Houston Texans with Deshaun Watson. So, of course, why wouldn't he want to come here? Not only he's from the state of Texas, he's close to home. He has a quarterback that he can trust. All he got to do is do his job on the defensive end. So let's talk about his job on the defensive end. I think this is a play the Texans definitely should consider because if you add in Jamal Adams, the Texans, in my personal opinion, have the best safety tandem in the whole NFL. They have the best safety tandem in the whole NFL. One, Jamal Adams is going to be carrying the majority of the weight. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro. He made second-team All-Pro in 2018. Last year in 2019 was first-team All-Pro. Had 2 touchdowns last year on the defensive side. Had a pick six and had a fumble six. And that fumble six was nice against Daniel Jones. How he just ripped the ball. It wasn't like it was like a scoop and score or just the ball's in the end zone. He just fell on and scored a touchdown. I know he actually ripped the ball out of Daniel Jones' hand and took it back to the house. And he also had a pick six last year as well. So he's a great player. Not a ball hog by any stretch of imagination. I think he only has 2 picks in his career. In his 3-year career, he only has 2 picks, and one of them was last year. But he is a strong safety. He is a box guy, a guy who you can throw in the box. I think I seen the stat that him and JJ are the only players in a 3-year span that has like 25 the passes deflected, 200 tackles, and over 10 sacks. Now, of course, JJ is supposed to have the tackles and the sacks. But he ain't supposed to have the 25 pass deflections because he's a defensive lineman. And on the opposite end, this guy's a safety. Yeah, he's supposed to have them pass deflections, but he ain't supposed to have all them sacks. And he really ain't supposed to have all them tackles. It's because he's coming in on the box. He's like a hybrid between a linebacker and a safety. So you definitely could use him, especially in the running game. And I think him opposite Justin Reid, because we all seen the playmaking ability that Justin Reid has. Justin Reid has shown playmaking ability time and time after again in the past 2 years. He saved the Texans' skin in a couple games. I mean, the game against Cleveland when he rips the ball out there, it should have been a touchdown. He rips the ball out before the goal line, and the Texans able to recover it. The pick six against Washington. The knocking the ball out so Whitney Merciless can get the pick and damn near running for a touchdown against the Titans. The game saving play against Jacksonville on that 2-point conversion against Leonard Fournette. Like he saved the Texans' skin a bunch of times just in a short 2-year span. So if you give him an opposite box safety that will help him as well, another guy who's young and youthful, I definitely believe that the Texans will have the best safety tandem in the NFL. Not to mention, see, people want to talk about and want to like discredit safeties and want to minimize the importance of safeties. And the reason that is because either they have a demonstrous front seven or they have a solid cornerback tandem that they don't really have to have. Their safeties don't have to be all world. But in the Texas situation where we really don't know about this front seven, the secondary as far as the cornerback situation is a little spotty. If you have 2 dominant safeties, that helps out a lot. Because now you bring it back to Bradley Roby. That 2 people helps out the most, and it's not even Justin Reid. It's Bradley Roby and it's Lonnie Johnson. The reason why, go back and watch the tape of Roby last year. Roby was extremely conservative. He was extremely conservative in the first part of the season. Right around the Falcons game and the first Chiefs game when he got hurt, he played a little bit aggressive, and he played extremely aggressive against the Patriots on that Sunday Night Football game. He made plays. He made plays when he played aggressively. I think the reason why he played so conservative was, one, he's on a 1-year deal. He doesn't want to take too many chances because he doesn't want to cost himself money. And two, he really is not all that comfortable with the safety help. Justin Reid was only in the second year. He didn't know Justin Reid. He didn't play with Justin Reid that long. So he didn't really know exactly what Justin Reid was capable of. And then the other safety and Gibson, you really didn't really have too much trust and faith in him. You give him now. He played with Justin Reid for a year now. He knows what Justin Reid's capable of, and he sees what the All-Pro type of player that Jamal Adams is. Now what he's going to do, he's going to take all type of chances. If he starts taking chances because he has safety help on the back end that he can trust, now you're going to start seeing more plays being made. Same thing with Lonnie Johnson. Lonnie Johnson's a young player. He can start taking more risks, and he can start taking more chances. He can start being more aggressive. Because I think that both Lonnie and Roby want to be more aggressive. I think Lonnie wants to be more aggressive and more physical, and I think Roby wants to take more chances or make them breaks on balls and stuff like that. But he's scared to do that because, damn, if I make a break and I mistime my break, and the receiver catches it, I might give up a 50-yard touchdown, 35-yard play, something of those caliber, because I don't trust the safety back behind me. You give them these two safeties right here, you definitely be able to trust both of them safeties. At least one of them, if not both of them, are going to be there to save your ass. So you can go out there and you can take more risks, you take more chances. So I think it pays huge dividends. Now, the kicker about this whole thing is we don't have any assets to give up for Jamal Adams. We really don't. And I hate to keep bringing this up, but everything just always falls back full circle about how bad that Hopkins trade was. Scratch out that number 8 pick. Scratch out. If you, at the very least, was able to get a future first for Jamal Adams, for DeAndre Hopkins, at the very least, even if Arizona didn't want to give up that 8th pick, at the very least, you should have got the 2nd pick that you end up getting from them, and also you should have got 2021's first round pick from the Cardinals, because you'd be like, hey, we giving you Hopkins. You think y'all should be good? Y'all should be in the playoffs. Y'all should be in we didn't sign. Oh, by this time they've already signed the pass about the 7th playoff team. Y'all gonna be in the playoffs. So this pick is gonna be in the low 20s. It's gonna be pick 25 or lower. And y'all might even be pick 30 or something. Y'all believe y'all that good? Y'all believe Clinsbury? You believe your offense that good? I mean, you got rookie of your quarterback. But now we just give you the best receiver in the league. Give us that first round pick. Give us that 2021 first round pick. It's going to be a low pick because how good y'all going to be. Y'all claim y'all going to be this good. That's how good y'all going to be. Give us this first round pick. Now they have a bargaining chip. Now they have an asset to give up to acquire a player like Jamal Adams. I would love to have Jamal Adams. I mean, from a youth standpoint and things like that, I would love to have Jamal Adams. But we don't have any assets. We don't have any first-round picks until 2022. And I'm damn sure not about to go 3 years without a first-round pick. That's just complete asinine. Unless you just put all your chips in right now. We try and win a Super Bowl in 2020 and 2021. That's the only thing that tells me. And again, if you feel that strongly about your case, you should never give up Hopkins in the first place. So, you really don't have anything to give up to get Jamal Adams. Unless you're talking about giving up receivers and then you just really just down everything back, and it's just really not worth it. But an option I believe could be worth it, a better option for the Texans, would be going after Eric Reid. Eric Reid, if I'm not mistaken, is still a free agent at this time. He's older. I think he's made one Pro Bowl back in 2017, if I'm not mistaken, or 2016, something like that. So he doesn't have the pelts on the wall and the accolades. He's not as good as Jamal Adams, and also it's not as youthful. But we do have his brother on the team, and I do think that that's somebody that Justin Reid will trust as far as a safety, as far as having a communication with, as far as having chemistry with. It's something that, because I'm pretty sure they're probably working out with each other right now. They're brothers. So that is somebody that I think that is a cheap option, because that way you don't have to you don't have to pay him this enormous amount of salary, because Jamal Adams is going to get paid. You don't have to pay him this big salary, and you don't have to give up any assets to get him because he's already a free agent. And if you believe what Bill O'Brien has been doing, if you believe what Cal McNair has been saying, this door should be open. Both of them have released statements talking about the whole Black Lives Matter movement. Bill O'Brien was at George Floyd's funeral. He's even mentioned in the statement. He mentioned Eric Reid by name about the protesting. You got Calvin there doing these specials on the Texas website, talking to black athletes and black coaches and stuff like that, trying to inspire change and what could they do to get change. Well, the only really knock on Eric Reid was the whole protest situation, ain't it? So if that's the case, that door should be wide open, and you should be able to bring Eric Reid in with no problem, right? Right? Am I wrong about that? Like you should be able to bring Eric Reid in with no problem because he's not going to cost that much. He's not going to cost that much because he doesn't have all the pelts on the wall. You don't have to give up anything because he's a free agent, and his brother already plays on the team, and I know his brother is campaigning for him to play for the Houston Texans. He's had several conversations with Bill O'Brien. What the problem is, man? You're going to need safety help. What's the problem? I just told you. I just laid out why you need safety help. Not to mention, like I said, Cam Newton just got signed by the Patriots. And now the Patriots are much better now than I thought they were going to be coming into the season. You play the Patriots on your schedule. You start the season against Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City, then followed by that behind Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. You seen what Derrick Henry did last year. So you are going to need help in the safety department, especially from a box safety, a guy who can come in, play in the box, play a linebacker hybrid, because you're going to need somebody to watch Lamar Jackson while he's running around. You're going to need somebody to get Cam Newton when he starts running. You're going to need somebody to get Leonard Fournette and Derrick Henry, and also Jonathan Taylor and Marlon Mack with the Colts and Titans and the Jags. You're going to need safety help, not to mention your corners definitely rely, because the secondary is not experienced for one, and also two, not in a cohesion. Everybody has only been here for a year at the most. From when you talk about your corners, you have a second-year corner in Lonnie Johnson. You got a guy who you brought in as a free agent last year in Bradley Roby. You got a guy you brought in mid-season in Garyon Conley, and then a guy you brought in even later in the season in Hargraves. Those are your corners. So not to mention you have a new defensive coordinator. Not to mention you have a new defensive coordinator as well. I know he's played. I know he's been coaching on the team as a defensive line coach, but he's going to bring in his own philosophy, his own things from the way he's been talking. So, in saying that, this secondary is not all that experienced as far as they ain't been playing long together, and they ain't been playing long in the NFL, because Roby's been here since Roby played in the league since 13. I think Hargraves came in 16. I know Conley came in 17. Like I said, Lonnie Johnson just got drafted last year. So it's a young secondary outside of Roby, and then they've not played together because all these guys are new to Houston last year. Both Lonnie and Bradley Roby have been a Texan longer. Have been the two longest Texans as far as them corners. That's the type of situation that you're dealing with. So you need more help on the back end so they could be more, because they're not experienced. They don't have. I know Roby's won a Super Bowl with Denver. They not all that experienced. They don't have all the pelts on the wall. They haven't been a dominant secondary. So they're going to need help. Let's call a spade a spade. They're going to need help, especially on the back end. They're going to need safeties that they can trust so they can take more chances. I think the same thing about Hargraves as well. I think Hargraves is a guy who wants to take chances, wants to take risks in his own right. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you have safety help that you can trust, because if you're taking chances and you don't trust your safeties, and you're taking those chances and those safeties are not bailing you out, you look completely bad. Because if you miss time, now if you take a chance and you get the pick and it's a pick six, cool, everybody's clapping. Yeah, we got the best corner in the league. But if you take a chance and you miss time your chance, and they go out and get a 60-yard bomb or a 30-yard touchdown and things like that, everybody looking at you, man, this dude trash. He's getting burnt. He's garbage. Get him out of here. Get him out of his uniform. That's the type of situation that you're dealing with. And I know both that Bill O'Brien and Anthony Weaver have both talked about Jamal Adams recently. I know they would definitely want to get Jamal Adams because he's he's the best situation. Like right now, like if you get, like I said, if you get Jamal Adams, you have the best safety tandem in the whole NFL. I don't care what nobody says because I believe that Justin Reid will be a Pro Bowler / All Pro type caliber player this year. He showed that he was a Pro Bowl player last year. He will be awarded to the Pro Bowl this year, and I would not be surprised if he's an All Pro. If it's second team or first team, it don't matter. I wouldn't be surprised if he's an All Pro player this year. You have the potential to have 2 All-Pro safeties if you acquire Jamal Adams. You have the potential to have 2 All-Pros. And to be honest, I actually think that Reid will be an All-Pro this year before Jamal Adams because I think if you add Jamal Adams, I think Reid's gameplay is going to go to a whole nother level. I think it's going to go into a whole nother level anyway because last year, he played all last year with a bump shoulder. We all forget that. Remember, he had that car wreck before training camp, if I'm not mistaken. So he's played all last year with a dislocated shoulder. Like his shoulder was never right all last year. He didn't really miss no time, but he left every single game. Every game, he left every game in the middle of the game. Every single game. But he came back. It wasn't like he left, he was gone. He left and came back. So that showed you how tough he is. And showed you like, man, he still was making plays last year. Still making plays against Jacksonville. Still making plays against the Titans. Still making plays against Tampa Bay. If he was 100% healthy throughout the whole 16-year stretch, imagine the type of safety he would have been. Imagine what type of secondary we would have had. Now imagine that if you give him a Jamal Adams on the opposite side. I know. That's deadly. That's the best safety tandem in the NFL. That's what I'm talking about. But the only problem with Jamal Adams, everything checks the box with Jamal Adams. I know people have been talking about that it doesn't make sense for Texas. It makes perfect sense. It makes extremely perfect sense for the Texans. Except for one thing. They don't have the assets to acquire him. But they have a way easier route by going after Eric Reid, by going after his brother, Justin Reid's brother. Don't have to trade for him. Don't have to give him a big contract after a year or two. You can sign him to a minimum deal. And even though he's not as good as Jamal Adams, he's good. He's better than what you have and better than what you've been having. And he still can help you take your defense to a whole nother level. What the problem is? Come on, man. What's the problem? Help your secondary out. You really didn't do too much for your defense via free agency outside the draft. Help your secondary out. Help your defense out. That takes a lot of pressure off of Roby, off of Lonnie Johnson, off of Garyon Conley, off of Hargraves. Also helps out your front seven as well because you got somebody else you could cheat in to play in the box. Come on. And like I said, I think it's going to take Justin Reid's play to the whole nother level as well. No matter what, I think his safety play is going to go up anyway. But if you give him an Eric Reid or Jamal Adams, definitely he's going to be an all-pro type player. Because like I said, neither one of them, neither Eric Reid or Jamal Adams are ball hawks. I think Justin Reid could be. Justin Reid has potential to get his hands around the ball and make plays. He's shown you in the 2 years that he's a playmaker. You give him a safety on the opposite side of him, he's definitely going to be a playmaker. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't, comment below if you haven't, click that bell, get more videos. I holla.